Today, I'm going to talk about some of the most awkward and embarrassing things in life, at least in my life. First of all, when a bird poos on your head. Unless you've got tissues or a hat, there is literally nothing you can do in this circumstance except walk around with poo on your head until you find somewhere you can wash it off. This is especially embarrassing if others have noticed the whole episode. It actually happened to me a few weeks back. It didn't get me on the head, fortunately, but it hit my leg. I immediately rushed off to find a toilet to try and wash it off, so I did manage to wash it off, and so I triumphantly waltzed out of there, then realised I had a big wet patch on my leg, so it looked like I'd pissed myself. Next, waiting rooms, or any kind of place where there is a room full of people. When it is all quiet, every sound seems intensified. So breaking wind would be pretty embarrassing. Sometimes my stomach starts rumbling. Well, I say rumbling, sometimes it sounds more like a distressed wail. Making eye contact with anyone sat opposite is awkward. This is why mobile phones are a blessing. I can fix my eyes on it and fiddle around with it to try and at least look like a normal person. Well, I look like a normal person right up to the point where it starts ringing, and then I have a panic attack, desperately ending the call. I don't like having a conversation in a room where everyone is listening. That's why it's especially awkward if someone starts talking to me in such a place. It becomes a balancing act of saying as little as possible while trying not to seem impolite. Next, looking on someone's social media profile who you know but aren't friends with, then accidentally hitting like on one of their photos. This is especially awkward if it is a photo from 5 years ago when they're on the beach in a bikini. So then you unlike it as quickly as possible and spend the next half an hour googling how notifications work, then worrying the next day or decade of your life worrying whether they saw it or not. Next, when you're walking along and someone comes in the opposite direction and you try to get by each other and do the sidewalk shuffle. Also, when you're walking with someone, say goodbye to each other and then realise that you're both walking in the same direction. This is similar to meeting someone you know in a shop, engaging in some awkward small talk, saying bye to them, then seeing them again a few minutes later. Oh, hello again. That's why if I see anyone I know and speak to them, I need to exit immediately regardless of whether I need anything else in the shop. But the awkwardness doesn't end there. Putting my change away in my wallet was always an awkwardness concern, so these days I always pay contactless with my card if I can, although that can be awkward if the card reader decides not to work. Then I worry about holding up people behind me. Next, thinking someone is speaking to you, answering them, then realising they're speaking to someone else. This is embarrassing, especially if other people have noticed. Same as when someone's waving at you, so you wave back and then realise they were waving at someone behind you. Being in a group always feels awkward for me, but especially when the person to the left of you starts talking to someone else, and then the person on the right talks to someone else, and then you're sat in the middle not saying anything for hours. Now, not saying anything is fine by me, but in a social setting, I'm always self-conscious of the fact that other people are going to be aware of me not saying anything. Next, getting off a bus or train when someone is sat next to you. The same goes when you need to get up for someone who wants to get off. This can be made a million times more awkward if you lose balance and end up falling into someone's lap. Hello. I've made a whole video about public transport awkwardness and I'll link that below. Quick little plug there. And finally, anything involving me. So pretty much anything I do in my life, I seem to have the ability to make anything into an awkward moment, such as the end of this video. I don't know how to end it.